Hello, everybody online and in the audience. Just letting you know, we're waiting for the quorum of commissioners to be here. We need 5 to get started. And right now we have 4. So we're waiting for one more. Thank you for your patience. Hello, everyone. We just got word that the chair will be here in 5:01, which is in about 10 minutes, 11 minutes, and then we get the meeting started. Thanks for your patience. Hey, Madam Secretary, let's start the meeting.
The meeting's being recorded.
What's that?
The meeting's already being recorded. So we can
Okay.
start.
Shall we start then with the Pledge of Allegiance? And I'm going to ask our newest member, Manny Escamilla, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Will the secretary please call roll?
Commissioner Christie? Commissioner Jauregui?
Present.
Commissioner Cornelius? Commissioner Hardy? Commissioner Hardy?
Present.
Commissioner Ship? Commissioner Escamilla?
Present.
Vice Chair Marashi?
Here.
Chair Rush?
Here.
Chair, quorum has been reached at 5:04.
Okay, just so I'm clear, do we have any commissioners that are joining us remotely?
No,
No. Is it also my understanding that that can't be done anymore unless you get prior approval? Is that correct? Okay. All right, before we begin, I would like to remind my fellow commissioners to turn off or turn your microphones on when speaking and off when not speaking. And when speaking, please place the microphone about 4 inches away from you. Thank you. Members of the public may attend the Historic Resources Commission in person or virtually via Zoom. I now invite the Commission Secretary to describe the manner in which the public can access and participate in this meeting. Clerk?
the meeting is being live streamed via our portal at www.santa-ana.primegov.com/public/portal and to YouTube at www.youtube.com/City of Santa Ana videos. If you would like to provide public comment, you may do so in the following ways. Join the meeting via Zoom, enter meeting ID number 846-222-47690. When the item that you would like to comment on is being discussed, select the hand icon to let us know you would like to speak. You will be called upon by the name you entered. You can also join the meeting by calling 669-900-6833. Enter meeting ID number 846-222-47690. When the item that you would like to comment on is being discussed, press number 9 to let us know you would like to speak. You will be called upon by the last 3 digits of your phone number. After you are called upon, you may press number 6 to unmute yourself. For those who are attending this meeting in person and would like to provide public comment, please fill out a request to speak form and turn it into the secretary. All speakers will have 3 minutes to speak. I will alert you when your time is up.
Okay, moving on to public comments on non-agenda items. Madam Secretary, does anyone wish to speak?
If you're attending this meeting in person and would like to comment on non-agenda items, please fill out a request to speak form and turn it into the secretary. If you are participating via Zoom and would like to comment on non-agenda items, please select the hand icon and unmute yourself. If you are calling in and would like to comment on non-agenda items, please dial 9 and then 6 to unmute yourself. Chair, we do not have any speakers.
Okay. Moving on to the consent calendar. So we have one motion for all consent items unless an item is pulled for separate discussion.
Pull item C, please.
Item C, okay. So, Madam Secretary, you note that?
That's a historic property preservation agreement that she wants to pull.
Okay. All right, yes, Commissioner Christie.
We have concerns about some of
The microphone.
you know, that are not here, that are not excused. And that. Look at that, you know, especially, we were so short of a quorum today.
Are you asking, to pull item B and discuss it?
Yeah.
I thought you just asked to pull item C.
Well, now we're pulling B and C.
I see. Okay. All right. Sorry.
I'm sorry, Chair and Commissioners, good evening. I would just point out that that item, while I understand it may be of interest to the commission, it's not agendized this evening. And so it would not be possible to speak on that specifically or to have that type of discussion. I think that can be separately addressed with Min and the commission staff. But in terms of it being publicly discussed, it's not agendized for tonight's meeting.
But we could still pull it and vote on it separately, correct?
You could pull it and vote on the item as it's agendized, Commissioner Marashi.
Yeah,
Yes.
if we're
That's
not
okay.
excusing them, we don't vote. How do we do this? Because it's a non-excused item. And this is excused absences.
If it ordinarily falls in the purview, if that's what you would ordinarily do under this agenda item, it's certainly permissible, but my understanding, Commissioner Christie, was that if it's your intent to have a broader discussion about unexcused absences, that's something that we'd have to reserve for a different day.
So on
I-
this item, just for clarification, and City Attorney, correct me if I'm wrong. If the absences tonight are not excused, you would vote not to approve the item, period. You don't have to discuss it. All you have to do is vote on whether or not the absences are excused or not. So is that clear?
Yes, it is, because then that allows us to vote on it separately.
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct.
Question about item C, though. I certainly would love to be able to have a discussion with the applicant. How can we do that if we can't discuss it since it's not agendized? We would love to have her comments.
It is agendized, it's just on the consent calendar, so we would just do what Alberta did, which is pull the item for discussion,
Well,
unless they're
we-
not here.
I hear we can't have a discussion because it's not agendized that way.
No,
No, item C, I'm sorry, if we were confusing item B with C, item C is agendized. That can be pulled for separate discussion as is ordinary.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay, so do we have a motion then to approve items? I guess it would be item C. Do we have a motion to approve? Oh, I'm sorry, item A and item C. Is that correct?
No.
You. All right,
I make a motion that we approve item A, the meeting minutes.
Second,
okay, so we have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, please call for the roll vote.
Okay, Commissioner Christie,
yes.
Commissioner Jauregui, Commissioner Cornelius, Commissioner Hardy,
Yes.
Commissioner Ship, Commissioner Escamilla,
yes,
Vice Chair Marashi,
Yes,
Chair Rush,
Yes,
motion approved by majority vote. With Commissioner Jauregui, Ship, and Cornelius absent.
okay. That concludes the consent calendar. Oh, wait a minute. No, it doesn't, because we have item, I guess we're going to do item B, excused absences. That I know of, we have one, which is Commissioner Hardigy. Has Cornelius Hardy, Cornelius or Ship, they didn't contact me. Did they contact you, Madam Secretary?
No,
Okay, so men, how do we deal with that?
For clarity, we have 3 commissioners absent. Did any of those commissioner contacted staff for an excused absence?
yes, Commissioner Irma Jauregui contacted me, said she wasn't going to be present.
Got it. So the motion would be to approve the excused absences for Commissioner Jauregui And it's gonna be the
Cornelius
option-
and Ship would be unexcused.
It would be the option of the commission as to
Right.
what you want to address those absences.
Well, I'll entertain a motion.
Oh,
So your motion then would be to provide an excused absence for Commissioner Hargy and an unexcused absence for Commissioner Cornelius and Commissioner Ship.
And I'll second that.
Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. Madam Secretary, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Christie,
yes.
Commissioner Rodriguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Cornelius. For Rodriguez, yes. Okay, Commissioner Rodriguez, Commissioner Cornelius, Commissioner Hardy,
Yes.
Commissioner Ship, Commissioner Escamilla,
Yes.
Vice Chair Marashi,
Yes.
Chair Rush.
Yes.
Motion approved by majority vote with Commissioner Jauregui, Commissioner Cornelius, and Commissioner Ship absent.
Okay. So next we'll discuss item C, Historic Property Preservation Agreement for 621 North Spurgeon Street. Does the staff have a report?
Chair, a report was prepared and is included in the packet. And I believe one of your colleagues, Commissioner Christie, had some comments as well.
All right,
Oh.
Commissioner Christie?
Yeah, I guess I have to disclose that myself and Vice Chair Marashi met with Diana and Daniel Vogel. Daniel, I hope you're feeling better. Sorry that you're not here tonight. But this is the most historic house I've ever seen in my life. It is absolutely gorgeous and you have to go see it. And they were so gracious enough to invite us in. We very seldom get to be invited into somebody's home, but it was like, oh my gosh, it was like going back in time and looking at all the artifacts that Diane and Daniel collected over the years and their family portraits as knights and damsels and all of that just goes with the character of the house. And I understand, Tim, that it's on your walking tour that you show this house. But I encourage everyone, if you get a chance to view this home, it is an historic masterpiece and the condition that it's in. And I don't know, can she speak about the house? No. I mean, we're in uncharted territory here now.
Commission, this is scheduled for consent. The discussion can occur among commissioners, but it's not a public comment or hearing item per se. So at this point, you can
It's
make your
just the
comment.
commissioner. Okay, fine. Well, thank you. We're chartering uncharted waters here. But I know that Diane had some pictures that you wanted to just for us commissioners to see. Is that okay that she passed that along or not? Or
We
included?
have the item, we'll pass it through.
Okay, that will do and include it in their package just to add, a little bit of character and history to it. But my goodness, and it's on a corner and it just calls attention to that. And it's in French Park.
It's not in French Park, but it's French Park adjacent. It's a new term in Santa Ana.
It's
We have
French-
Beverly Hills adjacent. Now we have French
French
Park
Park
adjacent.
And I understand French Park just said, oh, yes. It went through the design standards and everything. So I just want to thank you for coming in from Los Angeles. And you bought this home and one of the things is that her husband loves her so much. He bought her this authentic bird cage that that's love. That's real love to have this magnificent bird cage that's in their house. And so if you ever get a chance to attend one of the walks that we have on historical tours of the homes, please, if this home is on that tour, you have to go and see it. It is magnificent.
I just want to add that when I met her, you could just see the passion for this home. She is doing everything right to this home that the original people that did some refinishing didn't finish off. She's going back and restoring some of the pieces and everything else. It's just, and to sum it up, she said, "This is my forever home." And that really does make a statement. So thank you very much for taking care of that house for us. I know it's in good hands. Thank you.
I guess full disclosure, I have to disclose, yes, I was in not only around the exterior, but in the home. And she didn't take me into the basement or upstairs, so I want to note that. But anyway, I was inside the house, and so how? Yes, go ahead, Commissioner
No, I was
Christie.
just going to make a motion that we approved.
Well, I want to just add something, and that is that as a part of this, because we're talking here about this Mills Act contract, and I'd like to add an item to the contract with the approval of the commission, and that is that you'll notice when you saw the pictures, the front door had been replaced with a Home Depot special by the previous owner, Dan Webster, bless his heart. And the original door, which was there, but he chose to take it out and do something else with it. Anyway, the door that's there is not the type of door for that home. And in fact, I think the picture she passed around, she included a picture of a door which would mimic a period door. And I'd like to make that a request in our Mills Act contract that the front door be replaced. It is an integral part of the facade, and that be replaced with an appropriate period style door that I would leave it up to the discretion of staff to work with the owner to see that happens. Is that okay?
Thank you, Chair. Just for clarification, in your report under the historic evaluation that was done in 2001, I believe there was a door in there that reflects what you're looking at. So I want to make sure we're clear that that's the door that you would like to incorporate into the approval.
Huh? The door what? You mean on the photograph?
The photograph shows
Yes.
the door. Yes.
Yes, that's correct. I don't expect her to track down that exact door. That may be difficult, but a reasonable facsimile thereof. So, yeah. Huh? Oh, sure. So, I'll entertain a motion. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Chair and
Janelle.
Commissioners, I would
I
just
thought you
add
hadn't seen the
whether-
pictures. Yes, Commissioner Hardy.
Yes, I just want to say that I first took notice when improvements were being made to this property. And I had suggested a nomination for a historic preservation award. And at that time, I was told that the project wasn't far enough in completion, and I believe it was the previous owner. But it looks like it's going to be eligible for a historic preservation award. A program we need to start up again. There's a problem here. We need to discuss that and get that going. And we need to let the property owner know they can self-nominate, I believe, for a historic preservation award. And we will let them know how to do that. Thank you.
Okay. The only problem, you may have to help her. I think she's too emotionally fragile to do that.
I would be happy to help.
Yeah, I say that tongue in cheek.
Chair and Commissioners, I would just note that while it's certainly within your purview to approve the contract with any changes or modifications, while this is not a public hearing, it would be appropriate for it to at least ascertain informally from the owner if she's accepting of that change that you're proposing.
Okay, so may I call her to the lectern?
I think you could just do that informally. I see her in the audience and she could
Do you
probably.
want to nod or? I
Yeah.
think, so it should be noted by the secretary, 2 thumbs up, and she nodded yes. Okay. All right. So. Yes, Commissioner.
Okay, thank you. And yes, beautiful home, echo everything that was stated here. So thank you for reinvesting. And I really do think that this is the intention of the original Mills Act was to, help homeowners that have done extensive work to their properties. And you obviously have done that. And I've seen the transformation over time. So it's absolutely gorgeous out there. The only other item though that I have related to the Mills Act contracts that we get from staff, the fiscal impact only indicates the loss to the city, which I understand as a city, we focus in on the tax revenue loss here, but I would like to include also just the more generalized tax loss estimate for just property taxes in general. I think that's just a more accurate statement when we kind of give that out to the public, because no one will know that in fact, really we only get about 10% of the property taxes back. So it's actually 90%, more than what we're seeing here. So that's the only thing that I would say for Mills Act contracts. And I don't know if staff has questions about that or if that's fairly clear.
Could you restate that?
Oh, sure,
Jenny?
sure. It just, the way that the fiscal impact is indicated, it only lists the loss of tax revenue to the city, but it doesn't include the loss of tax revenue to the school districts, county, state, and other special districts. So that's not included in the Mills Act fiscal impact statement.
The fiscal impact analysis is to the city, and that's why we only included the city's information.
Right. And I would just say, like, as a commissioner, I would like to include all of them. But again, that's another policy discussion. But I would figure it as a, reading through the contract, that's something I would like to see. And that's for staff without necessarily opening up discussion.
Yeah, I was just going to add that I don't know if your comments are pertinent to the instant Mills Act agreement, Commissioner Escamini, or is this a policy discussion you'd like to have with staff at a different time? But I think I'm hearing the latter, not the former.
Yeah, no, and I think, because right now if I was to ask like, oh, how much are we like, what is the property tax break in total? Do we have that number for this particular report? No, that's only 10% of what the full impact is on all agencies. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I would just like to see that, because my question is, what's the full impact here? And I don't see it.
Can we have a discussion with you separately,
Yeah,
and then we can
absolutely.
determine whether or not that's feasible or not? Thank you.
Okay, so would someone like to make a motion regarding 621 North Spurgeon with regard to the property preservation agreement?
I move that we recommend the city authorize the city manager and city clerk to execute an historic property preservation agreement Mills Act with Daniel and Diana Vogel for the property located at 621 North Spurgeon Street, subject to non-substantive changes approved by the city manager and city attorney.
I'll second that.
Okay, so we have a motion and a second. Madam Secretary, would you like to call the roll?
Just one slight interjection, forgive me. The motion as made, was that specified to include the modification you suggested, Chair Rush?
Yes.
If that was the intent, that it should be made for the record.
Yes,
And the modification of the door.
which the owner has agreed to.
do. Thank you.
Okay,
Okay, Commissioner Christie,
Yes.
Commissioner Jauregi, Commissioner Cornelius, Commissioner Hardy,
Yes.
Commissioner Ship, Commissioner Escamilla,
Yes.
Vice Chair Marashi,
Yes.
Chair Rush.
yes,
Motion approved by majority vote with Commissioner Jauregi, Commissioner Cornelius, and Commissioner Ship absent.
okay. Congratulations. So another big day for the Thomas House. or as we call it in French Park adjacent, the It's a Small World house. Anyway, that concludes the consent calendar. Moving on to the business calendar session. I'll now review the process for the public hearing so that everyone knows what to expect. Staff will provide. I guess I don't really need to do that, do I? Because staff will provide a presentation, answer questions from the commission. There isn't anything in the public hearing, is there? Did I miss something? Huh? Oh, we do. I knew that. I'm just checking, you know. Okay, staff will provide a presentation and answer questions from the commission. It's jet lag from the car. The public hearing will be open. The applicant will be given the opportunity to speak, limited to 15 minutes. Members of the public will be given the opportunity to comment, limited to 3 minutes. The applicant will be given the opportunity to respond to comments made by the public, limited to 5 minutes. The public hearing will then be closed. Discussion will return to the commission with formal action taken to approve, deny, or continue review of the application. Please consider the following suggestions when organizing your comments. Please state your name and address, strictly voluntary. State whether you support, oppose, or are neutral to the proposal. Your statement should include all pertinent facts within your knowledge. Please note the formal action by the Historic Resources Commission shall become effective after the 10-day appeal period unless the City Council holds a public hearing on the matter. Then the formal action will become effective on the day following the hearing and decision by the City Council. An appeal from the decision or requirement of the commission must be filed with the clerk of the council and a copy sent to the planning department within 10 days of the date of the commission's action. The appeal may be made by any interested party, individual, or group. This is the time and place for the historic exterior modification application number 2023-05 for the property located at 419 East Wellington Avenue, historically known as the Tichenor Catlin House, located within the specific development SD19 zoning code. Before we begin, do any commissioners have anything they wish to disclose with regard to this item? Commissioner Christie?
Yes, I met with the applicant, Dwayne Rohrabacher Jr. and Shannon Lewis on Saturday.
Okay, anyone else? Commissioner Mirashi?
I would also like to, disclose that I also visited with both of the applicants with Commissioner Christie on Saturday
right.
also.
Anyone else? Disclosure from myself, I have also toured the property both inside and out and have spoken with the applicants. Andrea Dumovich Haywood will now provide a brief presentation.
Good evening, Chair and Commissioners.
I guess we should note the applicant, I think, is online.
Yes, I'm here. Thank you.
All right.
Nice to see you all. Tonight I will be presenting item number 1, historic exterior modification application for the Tichenor Catlin House. The application is for HEMA number 2023-05, located at 419 East Wellington Avenue. The project includes a historic exterior modification application to allow a front yard porch rehabilitation, which includes foundation repair and removal of conjectural features. Staff's recommendation is to approve HEMA number 2023-05. The subject property is located in the French Park National Register Historic District on East Wellington Avenue between French and North Lacey Streets, and it is south of East Washington Avenue. The Tishanel Catlin House was constructed in 1887, originally in Victorian Italianate style. It was later remodeled in the mid 1920s with craftsman features added. In 1997, it was listed as number 138 on Santa Ana's Historic Register at the key level. And it is a contributor to the French Park National Register Historic District. And therefore, because it is in a National Register Historic District, it is automatically listed in the California Register of Historical Resources. Here is a historic photo of the residence dated 1890 or circa 1890. You can see the building originally had a smaller porch designed solely in the Victorian Italianate style with only 2 porch columns closer towards the front. The roof pitch at the gable ends and the building massing are also different from what it looks like today. During the 1920s remodel, the second story was raised with additional rooms added, and the front porch was redesigned closer to what we see today. The project includes a partial rehabilitation of the existing deteriorating front porch at the building's primary south and the west side facades. The foundation will be repaired and reinforced with 3 new concrete footers. The footers will not be visible as they will be located behind the porch skirt at the building's foundation. Non-original craftsman style elements will be removed and replaced by a simple compatible porch design. Compatible porch features that are in disrepair will either be repaired in kind or replaced entirely due to their severe deterioration. Conjectural features that have been added over time will be removed, and there is no new square footage proposed as part of this project. So here is the existing and proposed site plan. You can see that the residence sits on a long angled lot with a front porch facing East Wellington. The proposed work is outlined in blue. And as stated earlier, there will be no changes to the building footprint. Here is the existing first floor plan. The proposed porch rehabilitation will be located at the ground floor only. 2 existing porch posts will be removed. You can see the red arrows point to those 2 posts that will be removed. The existing or the current posts consist of a thin upper post that's measured at approximately 11.25 inches with a wider lower support pier that measures at 21.5 inches. And here we have the proposed first floor plan showing the new porch design. There will be 3 new porch posts, so there will be a 3rd new post added. The posts will be narrower than the existing posts, measuring at 8 inches with 10-inch upper and lower wraps that serve as minimally decorative caps on the posts. The purpose of introducing the 3rd new post is to provide symmetry to the porch design, as that 3rd post will frame the entry. You can see that there are 2 posts on either side of the stairs as part of this new design. The 2 westernmost posts, the ones that are left of the stairs, will be replaced in the same location as the existing posts. Proposed roof plan, there are no changes because again, the project consists solely at the ground floor. Existing primary south elevation. This slide shows the conjectural items to be removed, which includes the existing corbel. And that one's where my mouse is in the middle photo. Window ornamentation at the double window, including the 2 window consoles that's on either side of the window, the inner brow ornamentation in between the double window, and the lintel above the window. Additionally, the non-original 22-inch porch header will be removed, and that's at the top right here. However, please note that the porch roof and the fascia will remain in place. And then additional items at the primary south elevation to be removed include the 2 existing porch columns, porch railing, as well as the porch skirt and that single vent below the porch. The vent that is right of the stairs, right here, will not be removed. Now we're at the proposed primary south elevation. This shows the 3 new porch columns, replacement porch skirt, and the new vent. A small section to the right of the stairs that currently contains an opening under the porch with exposed brick foundation. So where my mouse is right here. This will receive a new porch skirt and horizontal band to match the existing to the left of the stairs. Adding these elements to the right of the stairs, as I said, will continue the porch skirt design at the porch's eastern terminus and provide symmetry to tie in with the 3rd new porch column immediately above. The porch railing will be removed and it will not be replaced. And that's to the left right here. Staff verified with the building division that this change is acceptable under the California Building Code, as the porch height allows for the option of having no porch railing. And now we're looking at the existing and proposed side, the west side elevation. Here you can see the project is confined to a small portion of just the west elevation. The new porch column, skirt, and vent are visible at this elevation. In addition, the 22-inch porch header above will be removed. So this project complies with the Secretary of Interior standards for rehabilitation numbers 1 through 6 and 9 through 10. Standards 7 and 8 are not applicable. Standard 7 relates to chemical treatment of historic properties, which it doesn't apply, and standard 8 refers to archaeological resources. The project also complies with the guidelines for preserving, rehabilitating, and restoring and reconstructing historic buildings. And then as part of this project, the conditions of approval include the first one, which is front yard landscape shall be maintained so that the building's primary facade and all of its character defining features are fully visible from the public right of way. And number 2, prior to issuance of building permit, the applicant will work with city staff to determine exact materials and finishes to ensure compatibility with the main residence. Staff's recommendation is to adopt a resolution approving a certificate of appropriateness for historic exterior modification application number 2023-05. This concludes my presentation. Thank you.
Okay, does the commission have any questions or comments of staff? Commissioner Marashi,
So
Vice
there-
Chair, I should say.
Sure. So there are no photographs of what it looked like in 29 after the modification at that time? We only have the original photograph?
Sorry, in the 1920s?
You said it was modified in 1929, if I believe.
Oh, maybe I misspoke, but the 1920s. We don't have exact
okay.
year.
All
but
right, but we don't have a picture of it in the 20s.
We do not,
Okay.
unfortunately.
Can you go back to the picture of the front, please? Right there.
Oh,
That's fine. So you said that the vent on the bottom on the left is going to be removed, but it's still, I mean, it's not going to go into the basement or area or under the house. but there will still be the opening that you see there?
This vent right here.
Correct.
So they're taking that vent out and they're replacing with a new vent like for
Okay.
like to match.
All right, so it does match the other side. And then the skirt doesn't go all the way across on the right-hand side, only a short distance from the steps.
Yes, so
Right.
currently the skirt, there's nothing right here. It's, as I said, it's exposed brick foundation.
Right.
So they're trying to tie it in and continue the porch design.
I'm just surprised they didn't go all the way across, but okay, thank you.
I will clarify that to the right here, it is exposed, I believe, concrete or
Yes, it
it's a
is.
different material. So they made that decision to terminate right there.
Thanks.
Any other commissioners have questions? Andrea, I have a question. What the skirting that is to go underneath the porch? What is that gonna be? I mean, how's it gonna look?
You're asking what the design is?
Yeah, is it like lattice or what will it be?
I mean, it will be as close to this image, but it will be vertical redwood, individual like slats that will have, there will be spacing in between to allow airflow. And this is based off of other, we looked at other examples of somewhat craftsman style porches with the skirt, and it's similar in style.
Okay. All right, so there's no other questions of commissioners? Oh, Commissioner Escamilla?
Yeah, sorry, just a follow up to that. So are they going to be special treated just for mold resistance and everything? Or are we having any of that requirement? Because I know with a lot of these porches, that ends up being the major issue is just the water seepage. So if you can, just make sure the material is mold and water resistant.
Okay.
Okay, does the commission have any questions, comments or questions of the applicant? What's that? Would the applicant like to speak on the matter?
Sure. Thank you for acknowledging me, and thank you, Andrea and commissioners, for going through our project. We are, as you've seen in the picture, the porch is basically completely dilapidated and falling over. So our goal with this project was to have a functional porch that matched the original porch design as closely as possible without making it look like it was original. And to address the comment about the skirting not going all the way across, the porch ends where that framing of the window is. So the skirting is just for the porch itself. We didn't want to continue the skirt across underneath the window because then we'd likely have to wrap it around further, and that didn't make sense for us. But yeah, this is an exciting project because we'll be able to finish our front yard landscaping and paint the house, and it'll look brand new after this. So we appreciate your time.
Okay. Recording secretary, we received any written communications, or is there a member of the public that would like to comment on this item?
We have not received written communication. If you're attending this meeting in person and would like to comment on this item, please fill out a request to speak form and turn it into the secretary. If you're participating via Zoom and would like to comment on this item, please select the hand icon and unmute yourself. If you're calling in and would like to comment on this item, please dial 9 and then 6 to unmute yourself. I will wait a few seconds. Chair, we do not have any speakers.
Okay. The public hearing is now closed. Is there a motion to approve this matter and a second?
I would like to make a motion that we adopt a resolution approving a certificate of appropriateness for historic exterior modification application number 2023-05.
All right, and do we have a
Second.
second?
Second,
Okay, Commissioner Christie. All right, so Madam Secretary, we have a motion and a second. Would you please call the roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Christie,
yes.
Commissioner Jaregui, Commissioner Cornelius, Commissioner Hardy,
Yes.
Commissioner Ship, Commissioner Escamilla,
Yes.
Vice Chair Marashi,
Yes.
Chair Rush.
Yes.
Motion approved by majority vote with Commissioner Jauregi, Commissioner Cornelius, and Commissioner Ship absent.
Congratulations. It's gonna look beautiful once it's completed. It really is.
Congratulations, Mr. Rohrbacher. I can't wait to see it completed and see your house painted, and it'll add greatly to the neighborhood. It's my memory that your house is the oldest structure in French Park. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes, it was built in 1887, oldest on its original foundation. There were others that were moved into French Park, but it's the oldest that's been there the whole time.
Right. Well, that's wonderful. Very good.
Thank you all.
Congratulations. All right, thank you. Okay, that concludes the business calendar. Now moving on to administrative matters. The first item up for discussion is the election of officers for the 2023-2024 term. We will now accept nominations for chair.
Chair, if I may.
Yes, Manny, Commissioner Escamilla.
Yeah, sorry, Chair and, other members of the commission, if at all possible, I would just continue this item until more of our members are present. I know we barely had quorum and I don't know what attendance is like, but at least for the planning commission, we did kind of, I think, boot the chair and vice chair conversation just because of the holidays. So a lot of folks are out on vacation today and this week. So that's what I would prefer if we could continue the item, but I don't know if this is something that the rest of the commission would be okay with.
I don't have an objection to that. How does the rest of the commission feel? Or Mr. City Attorney, what's the status on something like that?
Chair and Commissioners, your bylaws do state that the officers of the HRC are elected in July. So there's less flexibility to do that. If you were to postpone that
I see.
action tonight, that would mean those officers would be elected at your next meeting, your quarterly meeting, which would be presumptively beyond July.
I see. All right.
I suggest we move forward because.
Okay. Well,
This is it.
Manny, thanks for your input.
My
And
understanding from city staff too, Chair, is that attempts were made to reach out to each of the commissioners in advance to ensure their availability for tonight's meeting. And then at least one, if not more, attempts were made. Staff can certainly confirm that.
okay. All right. So we're back to, we will now accept nominations for chair.
I
Yes,
move
Commissioner Christie.
for chairperson Tim Rush.
I'll second that.
Okay. Thank you very much. Do we have any other nominations?
If I may, Chair, I was going to nominate Ed just as the vice chair. Don't know what the rotational kind of efforts are here or what the tradition is in the historic commission. But yeah, just as vice chair, I figured move you on up and give someone else a shot at vice chair.
Thank you.
All right. So do I understand? You're nominating
Sorry, nominating Ed.
Ed as vice chair,
Sorry, as chair.
as chair.
As chair.
Okay. All right. Okay. Do we have a second to that? Or maybe we don't need a second for nominations. Is that correct?
Nominations don't ordinarily require a
Right,
second,
okay.
but they do
So-
require that the nominee accept that nomination.
Well, I accept the nomination. And I guess we would, how do we do this? Since we have two persons nominated. So how do we proceed? Do we have a?
Chair. It would be
Yeah.
common to take the first nomination first, and if there isn't enough vote, then you.
Oh,
obviously
okay.
nominate.
All right. So Madam Secretary, do you want a roll call? We'll first vote on the first nomination.
So motion for Tim Rush for chair.
Okay.
That would be the first vote. Commissioner Christie,
Yes.
Commissioner Jauregi, Commissioner Cornelius, Commissioner Hardy,
Yes.
Commissioner Ship, Commissioner Escamilla,
No.
Vice Chair Marashi,
Yes.
Chair Rush,
Yes.
Motion approved by majority vote with Commissioner Escamilla dissenting and Commissioner Jauregi, Commissioner Cornelius, and Commissioner Ship absent.
Okay,
Congratulations.
I presume that obviously negates the need for any vote on the second nomination. However, our second position would be for vice chair. So do we have a nomination for vice chair?
I move for Vice Chair Marashi.
Okay, very good. And any other nominations? All right. Madam Secretary, you want to do a roll call vote?
Okay, motion for Edward Marashi for vice chair.
Yes.
Okay, Commissioner Christie,
Yes.
Commissioner Jauregi, Commissioner Cornelius, Commissioner Hardy,
Yes.
Commissioner Ship, Commissioner Escamilla,
Yes.
Vice Chair Marashi,
Yes.
Chair Rush.
Yes.
Motion approved by majority vote with Commissioner Jauregi, Commissioner Cornelius, and Commissioner Ship absent.
Congratulations.
Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations. All right. Okay, that includes administrative matters. Moving on to staff comments. Do we have staff comments?
None.
No staff comments, okay?
Chair and Commissioners, if I may just add one thing with Min's permission. As you know, the City Attorney's Office, one of our roles is to provide legal counsel to the commission and the commission staff. I normally serve in that role, and it's my pleasure to do so. From time to time, we also introduce other colleagues to these roles. And tonight, I'd like to introduce my colleague, Brandon Salvatierra. He's a wonderful colleague of mine in the office and very much interested in the work of the commission. And so it's my pleasure to introduce him to the commission tonight and to the role that our office ordinarily plays in advising the council and its staff. So I just wanted you to see who he was, and in case you were wondering who it was sitting next to me at the table.
We could see you better if you'd remove that mask. You can put it right back on, but no, you
You may
don't
see
want to.
Brandon from time to time, if for some reason I'm not able to cover the meeting, or like I said, he's very much interested in the work.
So he's an attorney you're an attorney as well?
Yeah.
Okay. And tell me your name again, sir?
Brandon Salvatierra.
Brandon Salvatierra. Okay. All right.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Well, thank you for
Thank you,
coming.
Min, too, as well for the chance to make those comments.
Okay, are there any comments from the commissioners? I'm going to start down here with Commissioner Hardy.
Okay, good evening. I have a couple comments or things on my mind I need to talk about. I'm wondering if I thought we were going to have. We need to learn about the process for listing new listings on the Santa Ana Historic Register. And one of the reasons why we need to have a class for the HIC or have like a written form of how to do this is because as our structures are aging, changes are being made. And unless there are structures on the historic register, the changes that are being made are going to, chances are, disqualify them from ever being on the historic register. So I thought that we would be moving forward and learning how to do that, and teaching the general public also how they can nominate their properties to be on the historic register. The second item of concern is I think we've dropped the ball on the Historic Preservation Awards. I think a year's gone by, maybe 18 months that we haven't had this program, and part of the whole movement to create a historic commission was to be able to have historic preservation awards. So we need to do whatever it takes to do that. And I thought hand in hand, we were also going to have some sort of training on that also, about how to prepare a nomination because it is a little complicated and there are qualifying factors that not everybody knows about. And the general public can also be involved and make these nominations. It's not just the Historic Commission. All right, those are my comments. So hopefully we can move forward on those two things in the near future. Thank you.
Commissioner Marashi?
If I'm not mistaken, in one of the city announcements recently that comes out weekly, there was a whole thing about the historical preservation and links to the pages, which I've seen have been updated too. So I wanted to thank you very much for that. I do know that Floral Park is looking to do a training for anybody in the city that wants to become and learn about the historic register and do that. So certainly we'll let you know about that. But I agree with you. We need a marketing campaign to get more people involved and on the registry before we lose those properties. I want to thank the staff for the excellent meeting and presentations and preparedness, especially for you, Andrea. And also I want to thank our legal counsel, John. You did double duty today and everything on advising us. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. And again, I want to welcome our new commissioner, Mesquela. Thank you and congratulations for joining us. Look forward to it. And that's all I have.
All right. Commissioner Christie?
I just want to congratulate each of our properties that had the Mills Act and welcome Commissioner Danny. Been around a long time. He's representing the Planning Commission. We welcome you aboard and thank staff for the reports and all the work that you're doing. And the legal, like we got a good workout today with the legal staff today, that's for sure. And coming and Brandon, we look forward to having you with us. And congratulations, Tim and Ed.
Thank you. Commissioner Escamilla?
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, thank you all for having me here. Definitely interesting to be on this side of the dais this time. So, you know, I did purposefully ask to be part of this commission with the intent to bring up particular issues that I think are relevant to the Historic Commission. And even the building that we're meeting in is potentially not slated for demolition, but is now being discussed as far as a new city hall and a new civic center design. So I do think that we probably as a commission need to step up our efforts to acknowledge existing historical buildings that are relevant to the city as a whole, so that we can't necessarily rely only on residents to nominate, but that we should in fact take a look at particular historic sites throughout the city that deserve recognition, starting with City Hall, which is now over 50 years old, and obviously not going to force the city to not build a new one, but we should not tear this one down. So I wanted to start with that one. But we also have other historic sites in the city that we've never recognized, such as the Mendez family home that is still there and intact in the Artesia Pilar neighborhood. We have the Japanese garden that just turned 50 years old right across the way, the Mulkey Reitman apartment complex, the Santa Ana Medical Arts Building. So we got a bunch of these, but definitely would like to see more of a systematic review of historical properties that could potentially be demolished as we redevelop and kind of go through with our new general plan. So, the thing I'm thinking about is, all the historic buildings that we have along South Main that haven't necessarily ever been added to our historic register that should be recognized, especially in light of really anticipate, and we can really anticipate that there are going to be development pressures in particular areas, and we should take a look kind of more systematically. So I definitely have that for staff if we want to go into a more robust discussion, but that's definitely, if we're not going to meet for 3 months, we should probably talk about some sites that we'd like to nominate as a city and even potentially agendizing that conversation more generally, because before you know it, there will be some bulldozers on some of these buildings that could be preserved. So that's what I have to say.
Okay, well, thank you for the nomination today. Thank you very much. So I say thank you to my colleagues for that. I do want to congratulate the homeowners. Normally we have 4 to 6 projects that we're approving in a given agenda. Today it was only 2, but again, very important to each of you, and congratulations to to Dwayne Rohrbacher and his wife, and also to the Vogels. I want to ask staff a question. When someone does get approved, we're still sending out to them a PDF of the design of a plaque that they can order from Player's Choice or whomever, it's an approved design, right? Are we
Yeah.
doing that?
Yes, I'm working on last year's approved properties, and they have all been in communication with me. There's approximately 21 or so. But they have a deadline for late July to get their plaques placed on their historic register properties. And they've been sending me photos as they've been installing them. We do have design guidelines for the plaque, so it's not codified, it's not enforced, but we highly recommend they follow the design, and they've been calling me individually, and I've been helping guide them to.
Well, I think most people are wanting our input. I doubt anybody would fight us on the design, but that would be an interesting court case, wouldn't it? Yeah. Mr. City Attorney, I'll bet you'd love to prosecute that. So I could just see the look on a judge's face. You're being prosecuted for what? So, yeah, that'd be good. Anyway, okay, well, I just want to make sure that's being done. I agree with Commissioner Hardy. We keep talking about the historic awards, preservation awards, and that's never really gotten off the ground. So we need to do something on that. So maybe in this next couple of months while we're off before our next meeting, we could have some meetings with staff and brainstorm ways to get that going. And I want to welcome Manny Escamilla to our dais, representing the Planning Commission. And your comment about the Mendez home and the Japanese garden in particular, if you would send me, and these others, if you would send me an email mentioning those properties, and I will contact Preserve Orange County. I think they would be interested in assisting, maybe working with staff to get those listed, because it's just a process. There's no question there is historic. It's just a matter of going through the process. So POC has been looking for some projects like that. So anyway, what else? Before we meet again, I will start up my tours in the fall for Preserve Orange County for downtown and French Park. So just go to their website, which is preserveorangecounty.org, and you can select a date. But anyway, any commissioners, anything else that we overlooked? In any case, all right, well, I call us adjourned until our next meeting, Thursday, September the 7th, 2023 at 4:30 p.m. here.